The atmosphere aboard the Rovari prison barge 7x9 was thick with tension, and not just from the recycled air. The humans on board, prisoners of war, accused rebels, or political pawns, were caged behind shimmering containment fields. And among them, in solitary confinement, was the most dangerous of them all. Zelvara, a 6'8" wall of armored muscle and silent fury. She wasn't human. Not even close. Zelvara was a Gracari, a species bred for war. Their bone density tripled, skin layered in dermal scales, and minds hardened by centuries of clan combat. Female warriors were rarer and fiercer, and Zelvara was infamous even among them. According to rumors, she had slain a platoon of cybernetically enhanced commandos with only a broken pike and one arm shattered. And yet, when Daniel Reeve was assigned janitorial duty to her cell block, he didn't flinch. He wasn't a soldier, just a civilian technician caught on the wrong side of the front lines while helping rebuild a satellite array. It had been over a year since he'd seen Earth, or grass, or tasted fresh food. His job was to clean around her containment zone. No interaction, no talking. Just sweep, wipe, and go. The first time he saw her, Zelvara sat cross-legged, meditating. Muscles taut. Her skin was a deep obsidian with faint violet ridges running across her shoulders and jawline. She radiated danger, but also exhaustion. Like a weapon and used too long. Daniel paused. "Hey," he said, voice tentative. "You okay?" Her eyes snapped open, gold and glowing. She didn't answer, just glared. The guard outside snorted. "You're wasting your breath, Earth boy. She don't talk. She kills." But Daniel didn't stop. Each day after he cleaned, he'd offer her a greeting, sometimes a joke, sometimes silence. And slowly, the warrior's glare became less sharp. One day, he noticed her leg bleeding, a thin gash that shimmered blue against her dark skin. "Didn't they treat that?" he asked, squatting just beyond the energy field. She didn't reply. Daniel stood, left, and returned with a stolen med patch. He slid it close to the edge of her cell. "I'm not stupid enough to cross that line," he said. "But if you want to stop that from festering..." She stared at the patch. Minutes passed. Then her clawed hand snatched it, applied it expertly, and without a word, resumed her meditation. It was the beginning of something. Weeks turned into months. Their interactions grew into an unspoken routine. She never gave him her name, so he began calling her Z, short for Zelvara, a name he'd overheard from a security chief. The first time he used the nickname, she bared her fangs in a sharp-toothed grin. It was unclear whether she found it amusing or insulting. Then one day everything changed. Daniel arrived for his usual shift only to find the lights flickering, alarms blaring. The ship had been ambushed by pirates, or maybe a rebel faction. Explosions rocked the bulkheads. Chaos echoed through the corridors. As he turned to flee toward the emergency bunkers, he hesitated, then cursed himself. He ran toward Z's cell. Smoke filled the hallway. Sparks danced across broken panels. Her containment field had shorted, the emitter flickering. She was still inside but unconscious, her head bleeding from debris. Daniel didn't think. He stepped inside the cell, slung her massive arm over his shoulder, and dragged her into the corridor. It was like hauling a tank wrapped in meat and rage. But she stirred, her senses returning. "Why?" she murmured, voice gravelly foreign. "Because you would have done the same," Daniel lied. He growled. "No, I would not have. You are foolish." They limped together through smoke and fire, Daniel refusing to let her collapse. Eventually he got her to the auxiliary med bay. The lights flickered as containment shields snapped back online. She sat on the edge of a med table, clutching her side. "You protected me." "Of course I did," he said, panting. "You're not the monster they make you out to be. You know nothing about me, human." "Maybe not. But I know what it's like to be locked in a cell while people decide what kind of creature you are." For a long time she said nothing. Then she whispered, "My clan would call this weakness. Letting a male save me. I call it survival," he said. She gave him a strange look, part confusion, part curiosity. Later, over the next few days, the prison barge's control was restored, but the command structure shifted. The pirate attack had decimated the ranking officers, and new orders were unclear. Daniel found himself imprisoned with the rest, his unauthorized rescue seen as treason by the new warden. This time he was just another inmate. Ironically, it was Zelvara who now watched him. She visited the holding cells. "You do not belong here. I didn't belong in the war either, but it didn't stop anyone from pulling me into it. You saved my life," she said. "That carries weight in my culture. Even though I'm just a weak little human," he said with a tired smirk. She stepped closer. Her gaze bore into him. "You are strange, soft-spoken, frail. But you walk into fire for someone not your kind." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "That surprises you." "It enrages me," she growled. "Because I do not know how to repay such a thing." He swallowed, trying not to flinch. "I wasn't asking for payment. That is what makes it worse." And then she did the unexpected. She knelt. A towering alien warrior. A figure from every nightmare the galaxy had about Grikari savagery, kneeling before a human technician. "I will serve you," she said solemnly, "until my debt is paid." Daniel blinked. I didn't save you for that. I care not. I am Grikari. I owe you my bond." "But what does that mean exactly?" She looked up, expression unreadable. "It means your enemies are mine. Your burdens are mine. And if anyone threatens you, they die." Ending. Word of Zelvara's vow spread fast. The guards, previously indifferent, now looked at Daniel with fear-tinged caution. No one wanted to cross the human with a bonded Grikari warrior. When riots erupted during a food shortage, it was Zelvara who stood at Daniel's side, guarding him like a living shield. She didn't start fights, but she ended them swiftly. Strangely, her presence granted Daniel a kind of power. Other inmates deferred to him, not out of respect but out of survival. He used it to negotiate better conditions. Not for himself but for the entire block. Food improved. Medical aid was restored. The abuse from guards dwindled. And Zelvara watched it all. "You could become a warlord in here," she said one day, sitting beside him in the rec chamber. "I don't want that," Daniel replied. "I just want to go home." She turned her head slowly. "You would leave." "Well, yeah. Someday." Silence stretched between them. Then softly she said, "You are not weak, Daniel." He laughed. "Try telling that to the weights in the gym. I do not mean strength of flesh." She hesitated, as if choosing words carefully. "You changed me." Daniel blinked. "How?" "I was forged in fire. Taught only conquest and rage. But you showed me a different kind of strength." Her fingers brushed his hand. Clawed, rough yet deliberate. "I am not good at speaking emotions," she admitted. "In my people, affection is shown in battle or blood. But I feel drawn to you." Daniel flushed. "Zi." She leaned close, golden eyes piercing his soul. "If you do not wish me near, say so. I didn't say that, he murmured.